Good evening. Welcome to India Decides. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the program tonight, about 62.8% of eligible voters have cast their vote for this, the fourth phase of voting for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections in 96 Lok Sabha constituencies across 10 states and union territories.
Well, I'm Vasudha Venugopal. We're already well past the halfway stage in terms of seats remaining in this 7-phase election. On the 4th of June, we'll know exactly who forms the government. But this phase is critical for the BJP and for the Congress, for the India Alliance, as it favors non-aligned parties. And to that end, this phase is a crucial test for the NDA-friendly regional parties.
On the show this evening, a deep dive into the significance of this phase, what's at stake for all the key formations over here. But I think an interesting way of actually starting up is by bringing up the first set of graphics where we can actually look at the voter turnout as it is now. So it's got phases over there, and just look at the last column, phase 4, that's where we are at now. In 2019, Vasudha was 69.1%, it's 62.9%, and this is a figure updated up till about 8 p.m. That's minus 6.2%. Even if it goes up somewhat, chances are that it would be compared to last time around, the sharpest drop. And if you actually look at this data, it's from phase 1, it's down 3.9%, from last time around down 3.4%, phase 2 down a little more than 1%, phase 3, and down at this stage to more than 6%. That can adjust itself slightly, but it's quite significant. Let's just move to the next set of graphics over here, and I think this is interesting because why we talk about, and it's debatable, we will debate it because that's what we're doing, debating, yes. Right? So turnout impact analysis between 1977 and 2019. Why are we so interested in voter turnout? So if voter turnout increases, then it has done so on 7 occasions from 1977 to 2019. And on those 7 occasions, the incumbent government has changed on 4 occasions, it's repeated on 3 occasions. If voter turnout, now look at the final column, the lower one, if voter turnout has decreased, it has done so, in fact, on 5 occasions from 1977 to 2019. And on 4 occasions, the incumbent government has changed, it's repeated on 1 occasion. So some suggest, and it's debatable, that if turnout reduces, then there is a higher chance for a government to be replaced. So let me just introduce our panelists, and then we can start up. Ashok Malik with us, senior journalist, Aarti Jayarath, Dr. Shama Mohammed of the Congress, Nalin Kohli of the BJP and advocate senior advocate of the Supreme Court of India, and Sanjay Kumar, psephologist and professor at CSDS. Sanjay, to you first, how would you look at those numbers? A, on what's happened since 1977, and B, on what's happened today? It's disappointing at one level. If it does turn out to be more than 6% down from last time, it's disappointing if not anything else.
No, my own sense is that the figures will get updated because the figures are up till 8 p.m. I'm sure it will be updated on the upward side by a couple of more percentages. So it's likely to be maybe 2.5–3% less compared to 2019 in the 4th phase. I'm not surprised because we are always comparing the turnout figures from the 2019, which was an unusual election by various means, one being the turnout, because that's an election which witnessed highest turnout in Indian Lok Sabha elections, 68% turnout. So I won't be surprised that if we keep looking at turnout being low in the 5th, 6th and 7th phase as well, because we are comparing it with a election which witnessed a very high turnout. The other data, we have been discussing this since the first phase of election. Yes, if you look at the data standalone, we get a sense that there is chances of government getting defeated if the turnout goes down. But I think this is a very small number to make generalization about. We must also look at the state assembly election. And if you look at the big pool of data, you won't find such a strong correlation.
Right. Nalin, 3 states, Maharashtra, UP and Bihar, seem to be really sort of tired and they're not really voting. And these are your key states. These are states which are extremely important for the NDA reaching its 300 par or 400 par.
I think the first comment that really comes is, why is this assumption that it's the BJP voter or the BJP that would be hurt if the voter turnout is low? I mean, if the voter turnout is low, it can hurt anybody. It may not hurt also
only because of that statistic. So it is debatable that if voter that if voter turnout is low, then the incumbent government has a somewhat stronger possibility of changing. You're
Right.
not suggesting that that is going to happen. I'm only suggesting that, you know, it just out of, for the
So,
sake
okay.
of debate.
So let's, for the sake
It's
of
sort of
debate,
backed up by that
Yes.
number.
okay, so let's take that debate further. That if you have a low voter turnout, there have been occasions that your incumbent government has won, and you are saying that it seems that the incumbent government is more in problem.
Yes.
Right? So let's now pick the entire scenario. In the last 30 years, first majority government with a leader projected as the Prime Minister, 2014. In 19, we heard cannot come back, comes with a greater majority. Now in 2019, we hear the same what we are hearing in 2019, 2024. Let's pick the numbers. 379 seats in 4 phases. 60% was the strike rate of the BJP in 2014, 61% is the strike rate. Let's look at the seats. The BJP has actually done well. In 2000, we have reduced some seats also in these elections if you compare it, and I can give you that data. But if you look at it from the other side, what do we have on the, say, projection on the other side? We don't have clarity on leadership. We don't have clarity of an alliance. We are not just clarity on leader, which is Prime Minister Modi. We have clarity on the alliance.
Okay,
So
let's just
therefore,
stick to
I
numbers
would-
for now.
Sure.
And we'll come back to the issue of leadership because that is a key issue. Would you like to respond? I mean, how do you see the voter turnout?
So, two couple of points. One, which you have said that out of 8 times, 5 times the incumbent did not come back. So that's saying exactly what we've been saying, that the India alliance is coming back. Now, he just mentioned there is no clarity of leadership. In 2004, there was no clarity of leadership. Right? We won when India was shining. So this clarity of leadership, and in 2004, in fact, we had post-poll alliances more than pre-poll alliances. So here we have pre-poll alliances. We are around 26 to, it was initially 29, but it's come down to 26 parties. We are there. We have a strong alliance. But having said all that, what is the important thing today for me is what happened in Hyderabad with Madhvi Lata. She went to voters. She intimidated them. She asked them, what's your name? Open your burqa. Now, according to Election Commission of India, Section 171C, those who are voluntary interferes or attempts to interfere with free electoral process, there is 1 year imprisonment and fine. Now, there are a lot of FIRs, okay?
Yes.
But what happens in the end? There is no action. That is why Navneet Rana said, 15 seconds mein hum ye karenge aapko. Because the Prime Minister of India has been violating the Model Code of Conduct multiple times. We also remember the 7-bench judgment in 2017 when Chief Justice Thakur was there, that it says anybody who asks for vote based on religion, based on community, based on language, cannot do
But
that,
let's
and
deal
they'll be
with
called
today's-
corrupt.
let's
No, but this is an important point, because what I feel today, Vishnu, is that there is no election commission. So how
Right.
can the election
So
be free and fair?
that's the
a
larger
very
point.
important point. The
All right.
larger point is, how can we have a free and
I
fair
know Nalin
election
would like to
when there
reply.
is no election commission? The election commission does not take action on the Prime Minister when he talks about how the Guspetia comes in,
Okay, just half a
takes
sec.
your wealth.
Let's get a
And no,
reply.
when Congress will be rejected because they did not attend Pran Pratishtha. How can you say
Okay,
that?
1 sec. So lots of issues over there, but
Yes.
what you do point out to Ashok was a particularly glaring episode.
I'll respond later.
By all means,
Or
you know,
now
I
or
mean,
later?
would you agree that that's something that shouldn't have been done? A high-profile candidate basically saying that for those women wearing a burqa, you know, sort of lift the veil, to sort of match
It's
the identity.
intimidation.
It is construed to be intimidation.
No, look, I'm not election commission. The
No,
election
I'm
commission
asking
does
about
that,
your
and
view.
It prima facie it doesn't seem proper, but I'll leave it to the election commission to decide.
There's no
Nalin, you're the
election
election-
commission. Then
Nalin
how
is
will
the
we
election
decide?
commission.
No, so I'm not the election commission, but I'll just say, for the sake of argument, let's put that to airport security. Let's put that entry into parliament. Let's put that entry into any security zone. Can anybody say that my religious rights or my religious clothing will prevent me from being able to identify it clearly?
But if you have a candidate doing that,
So the presiding
that
officer
not,
is there.
that not,
No,
is
so
that
The
therefore,
not
presiding
there are
officer is there,
So there are-
Nalin. Why couldn't the
Why am I-
she
I'm
go
not
to
in
the
a debate.
presiding
I'm not
officer?
cross-talking, otherwise
Okay,
I'll have,
okay,
this
one
debate will
sec.
go elsewhere. So I'm only for the sake of the other guests not doing that. But I'll just come back. So that is what you have to wait to see. We will know. I'm not going to speak for the election
Can I
commission.
speak?
And second is, my training as an advocate prevents me from picking up a snippet here from a judgment and a snippet there to build an argument. So let us now come back to the political debate. I mean,
No,
it's
but,
been-
but Nalin, you haven't quite answered this entirely.
Which
The
is?
act itself, the fact that you have a BJP leader contesting these elections in that constituency, sort of encouraging something like this from happening?
Look, anyone.
Shouldn't the BJP
1 minute, as a
be
principle,
condemning
first,
this?
no, 1 minute, as a principle, anyone who intervenes into the electoral process in a manner that can be by the Election Commission
Yes.
construed to be an interference in that process of free conduct of elections has to face the consequences. Now that is to be seen under election law and is to be seen by the Election Commission. Why should that presumption be there? I mean, and let's come back to religion. Right here, I'm in charge of Nagaland. In Nagaland, the Congress party made an appeal on the name of Christianity. He was censored. So let's not get down this religion route. The
No, but
Congress
if the-
party has much to answer.
No,
Okay,
but
now
let
can
me
we-
just one
okay.
last. Can I just come in?
No, but we'll keep talking about
what I'm
religion and we're
asking-
trying to
I
do
have
a dive
one
into
issue.
the
He
data
said
over
he was
here.
censored, but the Prime Minister of India is talking like this.
All
Then
right.
what do we do about it?
if I
If
was
the
in
Election
Congress
Commission
place, I
is
would
not
also have
taking
a problem
action,
with the Prime Minister.
I want to question the Election Commission when it is
So
going to.
you've done that,
It's not a
Shama.
free
Approach them.
But approach,
Shama,
but we
Shama,
have
you-
approached them
you've
16
done that,
times
but
and they have not taken
Shama,
action.
if you get angry now, then I cannot go through my
I'm
data.
not
We
angry.
work all day on this data.
I'm saying there's no Election Commission. It's not a free and fair election.
Yeah, every
made
time
that
you win,
point.
it's not
You
free
made
and
that
fair.
point,
We'd
but
like to
let's
get those
just
states
go
back
through-
then, if you mind.
And I'm not trying to shut you down by any means. I'm just trying to do my show.
No, you're a wonderful anchor, Vishnu.
Everybody please note, Vasudha, you
Yes.
heard that, right?
Yes, yes.
So can we just have the next set of data? And what we're looking at over here is 2019, and then, essentially asking what's at stake this time around in 2024. Now, for the benefit of our viewers, in 2019, look at the leftmost. The BJP won 42 of 49 seats in phase 4 in 2019. In the center, the Congress won 6 of 12 seats in 2019, and others, and this is what we'll be talking about a fair bit, including the YSRCP, 122 of 35. That others is very large and it is significant in this phase. Let's go to the next graphic, because that actually has the strike rate as well. 10 states, 96 seats. What is at stake again? So this is the strike rate, this is the strike rate. The BJP's overall strike rate last time around was at 69%, which was huge. The Congress at just 12%. And in phase 4, this phase, right, 47% and just 7 for the Congress. Sanjay, again, the BJP did fairly well last time around, winning many seats in many of the states. But in terms of the strike rate that they would require this time around to be on path to being, let us say, 350 plus or maybe 400 plus, what would they want from this phase?
From this phase, we should not forget that in this phase, Andhra went to polls and the entire state of Telangana went to poll. And if you club the seats of the two states, it's 42 seats. Last time BJP could not open an account in Andhra, and in Telangana they managed to win only 4 seats. So that accounts for a lower strike rate for BJP in phase 4. If you compare it with the vote share also, BJP's overall vote share in the entire country last time was 37%. In this phase, BJP's vote share was also 10% less compared to the average vote share. So in order to achieve the target of say 370 or 400, even if we say 370, in the fourth phase, they need to at least double the strike rate, which is going to be very, very difficult. That's a rough calculation which I am making. But if a party needs to or aims to go from 303 to 370, definitely you need to hit hard. In the terminology of cricket, you have to make scores. So I think the strike rate has to be much higher compared to what we saw in 2019.
Mr. Malik, at least with regard to this phase, I think BJD is very important, and because non-aligned parties are going to be very important, including the BRS and YSRCP and BJD. In Odisha, the BJP state unit is of course finding it very difficult to take on a chief minister that it has not really criticized in the last few years. So do you think that is going to be a big challenge for the BJP?
Look, even the last time in 2019, the BJP's vote share went up considerably, but it ended up helping the BJD because the opposition vote was divided between the Congress and the BJP. At some point, the BJP has to cross the certain vote threshold in Odisha, which it did in Bengal last time,
Yes.
for instance, and it will start delivering seats. I suspect it may just be this election. Because look, I don't want to go into a debate about whether the BJP will win 370 or not 2070. That's a
But there was
separate issue.
split voting last time. So,
But in Odisha, in Bengal, in Telangana, in Andhra, these are all states where the BJP, I suspect the BJP will win more seats this time than it did last time. And in the case of Andhra, they won 0 last time, I think. So it will obviously go up there. So I do believe the BJP's strike rate and seat tally at the end of phase 4 will be more than what it was last time.
Okay.
Whether it goes up to 370 or not is a separate issue.
Let's just move on to Andhra Pradesh now and do a deep dive into the numbers over there. So what we are looking at, does the YSRCP hold an edge? And this is obviously based on the Lok Sabha numbers, and we'll take a look at the Vidhan Sabha numbers as well.
I think the 2014 thing was very important because JSP came together with TDP and BJP and they had this massive 17 seats in 2014. But of course, then the split with Chandrababu Naidu happened and not so much on good terms. And of course, YSRCP won 22 seats in the assembly polls, reducing the TDP to just 3 seats.
And the Congress and the BJP did disastrously in 2019 in this phase.
Yes.
25 seats. Let's just move to...
So the magic of 2014, will that get repeated or not is a big question for the BJP and TDP alliance.
And Vidhan Sabha are equally interesting. If we just go through that, and let's have that up full screen. So the Vidhan Sabha elections in 2019, 175 seats in total. The YSRCP, look at the right-hand side of your screen, at 151. The TDP at 23. Again, the Congress and the BJP, non-starters. So Aarti, again, in a phase where regional satraps are so important, it seems to be particularly so in Andhra Pradesh. And that determines very much the future of, at least in these elections, of the BJP and the Congress, right? How well the YSRCP does.
So, 5 years ago, I think it was very clear. I mean, Andhra bucked the national trend with, Jagan Reddy's party doing very well in the Lok Sabha elections, and then, of course, winning this huge majority in the assembly elections. And I think it was pretty evident from the crowds he was drawing. He was drawing huge crowds at that time. And, so I think there was really no doubt, who was going to win in Andhra. What is, I think creating confusion this time is that we're not seeing that kind of groundswell of support
for Jagan.
Either for Jagan or even for the TDP.
Okay. Right.
We're not seeing the kind of crowds that Jagan drew 5 years ago moving to the TDP this time. And I think that is what is creating confusion. There are also more players, with Jagan's family being split, his sister having joined the Congress. I think that is also adding to the confusion. And then, Pavan Kalyan sort of jumping in and, signing up with the BJP for an alliance. So, I mean, all in all, the picture in Andhra seems to be a little confused this year as compared to 5 years ago, when I think the, outcome was very, very evident.
But do you think
but yes, this is a phase in which the BJP really needs to up its game if it's going to, if it wants to achieve that target of 303 plus to plus to
Let's
whatever.
have the alliances up as Vasudha, go ahead. If you want to
so I just wanted to ask Nalin this. Is it a win-win situation for the BJP? Because, there is nobody more obedient than Jagan. He loves the Prime Minister. And, you've had this, sweet and sour relationship with Chandrababu Naidu. But clearly, both parties seem to like the BJP. They need the centre support for reasons we know.
So let's look at the last 4, since Andhra is involved, and I'll be interested to see what even Sanjay ji says. In 2000, 379 seats total in these 4 phases. In 2014, the BJP got 193 and increased it to 206 in 2019. Now, here's the interesting part. Among the allies, and remember that the BJP has a set of fixed allies in 14 and in 19. They are not floating conversations that may be allies in the name of a non-existent alliance. Okay. So I'm making that point because it's critical. So in the allies scene, if you look at it, in 2014 it was 37 to the NDA, if I may call it, which came down to 28. And that was answered in your graphic because you had the TDP in 2014 and you did not have the TDP in 2019, and instead you had the YSR, which was a separate party.
Yes.
That they may support a government later was a secondary issue. So if you look at both of them together, the BJP overall, its strike rate had increased because what we had between the allies and the BJP, while our seats went up, the allies went down, is that we had 234 seats in 2019 compared to 230 in 2014.
Sure.
So I'd say that, you know, when you look at the story, there are two stories riding together with Andhra in this phase.
Okay.
That the allies also contribute to the growth of the NDA with the BJP.
Yeah. Can I just come in?
You want to come in on that, or shall we
yeah,
take a look at
Telangana is the next,
Telangana
which
as
is your
well?
state, yeah.
And I wanted to come to you on that. Let's just move quickly to Telangana because we've got several other states to take a look at. So let's roll out the number of on Telangana. And so the question that we're asking is the Congress on the upswing? It is. Is that likely to remain in that way? If you look at Lok Sabha, 2 in 2014, the Congress went up to 3. The real story, of course, is not Lok Sabha. I'm just putting these numbers out there. The BRS turned out to be a formidable part player in 2014, a formidable player in 2019. But things started changing dramatically when you look at the Vidhan Sabha election. So let's have the Vidhan Sabha results out for Telangana. And the fact that these elections have just happened, and it's a huge turn in favor of the Congress at 64. The BRS, by their standards, collapsing to 39. The BJP at just 8. And so 64 of 119 seats going to the Congress. The question, therefore, is do you believe, Shama, that the fact that the gap between the assembly elections and the Lok Sabha elections is so narrow that there is a bit of a wave that can continue? Very often, that's not often the case.
It's not that I believe. I'm sure
Okay.
because of the guarantees. See, the guarantees have done very well for us, especially when it comes to women, both in Karnataka as well as here. And you will see that will do well for us. So I believe the BRS is going to crash, and those votes, those seats are just going to come over to the Congress, and it's not going to be the Bharatiya Janata Party. And when you look at Andhra also, one point I want to mention is that they were supposed to get a special status, they were supposed to get money, but they did not give. So the people of Andhra, if you go at the ground level, are still angry with the Bharatiya Janata Party because nothing was given. The capital is not built. They have a lot of issues over there. And he spoke about alliance partners. I just want to say throughout the UPA, our alliance partners remained with us. There was no issue. But unlike the BJP, we do not break up our alliance partners. We do not come as a small alliance partner and become the big one, like what we have seen in Maharashtra, where the Shiv Sena has been broken up. The LJP in Bihar has been broken up. The Akalis have ran away. So we don't do that. We keep our alliance partners. We grow with the alliance partner. And that's why we know that this time with the alliance partners, we are supporting it. We are not acting like Big Brother. We are supporting. We've given up. In fact, we sacrificed seats even in Maharashtra.
Right.
17. We took less seats.
Look at Maharashtra.
So what I'm trying to say is that we as an alliance, the Congress party functions very well. But having said that, the other one, which is the present government, just finishes them off. Look at JD. I mean, look at JDU where we saw Nitish Kumar with the lotus like this light.
Let's take
I
to
just have a
Telangana
comment
right
on
now.
that.
Nalin, go ahead.
It's fascinating to note
reply.
how necessity becomes a virtue. We don't treat our alliance partners as juniors. The Congress, which is on a declining streak, from 180 down to 44 and 52. I mean, actually, we are giving greater seats. They don't have a presence. So if you don't have a presence in politics, I mean, the alliance which has a presence is going to take.
Right.
Look at what Mamata Banerjee, the alliance partner, says. You're going to be less than 40 this time. And finally, I don't even want to give you a single seat. She put up candidates against the 2 that she was willing to offer also. So I think it's okay. This narrative, everyone is entitled to. And I'm not going to hold Shama against having a narrative for her party. She must. She's entitled to this democracy, but at the end of the day, you can't turn necessity into a virtue to give this high thing, which is the only reason why the Congress party is where it is today.
Just one thing. In that Mamata Banerjee thing, before the alliance was on, we knew 3 states would be problem. One is Kerala, West Bengal and Punjab. These are 3 states I told from the beginning when the alliance were forming, these 3 states we will have issues. And it's the truth. Sometimes you can't, we have to look at the state level leaders too.
Given, the entire issue of how strong or cohesive the India alliance is, if you have problems with the Trinamool Congress, which you clearly do.
In the local level, not at the central level. At the local level, definitely.
Let's just take a look
at us on CPM, the Congress and the CPM in Kerala.
Let's take a look. In fact, to Bengal. Let's move to Bengal right now.
So Bengal had important seats like Behrampur and of course, which is where Yusuf Pathan was contesting against.
We've got that graphic, a bunch of them, really interesting ones. So this is what happened in last time around. I beg your pardon, the seats contesting, all of them 8 seats each. These are, they're all contesting in phase 4 in Bengal. Now let's move to the next graphic, which actually points at the Lok Sabha result of 2019. Now, the question, was this a neck and neck fight? If you take a look at the rightmost corner and the vote share, the BJP's vote share was just below the Trinamool Congress, 39.6 to 42.1%, and the number of seats 4 to 3, the Congress at just 1. This was a particular phase where the BJP was in the ascendancy. So the question, Ashok, is, do you believe in Bengal, and there have been so many decisive issues, the BJP may be on the ascendancy?
But this phase is exceptional because it's all Hindi-speaking areas, right? Because, Durgapur, Asansol. So I think this is slightly
though to be fair, Trinamool has also put up a few high-profile candidates. Yes. Yeah? So the BJP is essentially defending 20 seats out of 42. 18 which it won last time, and the 2 Adhikari seats which have now moved, the Adhikari family has moved to the BJP. So Tamluk and Kontai also, in a sense, become the BJP's to defend. And Bengal has become even more strongly after the last assembly election a 2-horse race, a bipolar polity. In a Lok Sabha election, as opposed to an assembly election, the BJP certainly has more advantages, because in the Vidhan Sabha election, Mamata Banerjee's stature as a chief minister worked very well for Trinamool. Similarly, the BJP would hope that Prime Minister Modi's stature as the Prime Minister and the Prime Ministerial candidate would work for the BJP's advantage. I certainly don't see the BJP dropping those 20 seats.
Okay.
How much it can gain remains a matter of conjecture.
Okay.
If you look at the growth, Vasudha, just briefly, at even at the Vidhan Sabha level, the BJP, which was a non-starter in Bengal prior to 2014, it went in 2019 from 80. Sorry, this is they went to 77 in the Vidhan Sabha as well, and 18 in the Lok Sabha. So the rise of the BJP has been true in the Vidhan Sabha as much as it has been in the Lok Sabha, even though obviously at the Vidhan Sabha level, way short of where the Trinamool
So the rise
Congress
was from
is.
3 seats to 77 seats, which was huge. But I think, this election is also very important for Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee. For Mamata Banerjee to basically retain her status as this mass leader and TMC supremo, and Abhishek Banerjee also rising because everybody in the TMC is talking about how powerful he's becoming within the party. So tell us, how is the Lok Sabha elections of 2024 Bengal going to impact, how we see TMC or how the TMC functions?
Well, one of the reasons why the BJP gained this huge foothold in West Bengal is the collapse of the left. The left just virtually collapsed, and a lot of its vote got transferred to the BJP because it's basically an anti-Mamata vote. And that's really what has seen the BJP rise in Bengal and gain that huge foothold. And I don't think the left has been able to re-establish itself in any way in Bengal. And the Congress also is, kind of really lost ground. So that is why it's become a bipolar fight. The thing is that, what works to Mamata's advantage is that Bengal has about a 30% Muslim population. And, there are many pockets where there are in large concentrations. And, that Muslim vote has consolidated behind her in the past. It's likely to consolidate behind her in this election as well. And that's, I think, what prevents the BJP from actually aiming to get more than 18 to 20 seats, which is what it got. And, so unless it can break that stranglehold over the Muslim vote, which looks unlikely at the moment, certainly given the kind of rhetoric we're seeing in this election, and now, as we move forward, these are moving into areas where Muslims are in large, concentrations. So these are really, and also rural Bengal, where Mamata is very strong, much stronger than the BJP. So, you may see a kind of different vibe, a different kind of dynamics in operation.
Sanjay, what strikes me in this particular phase is, let's have those names. It is just the best of the most diverse set of big faces. You've got a Bollywood actor, you've got a former Union Minister of State, you've got two former cricketers. You've got the Congress, leader of the Congress, in fact, in the Lok Sabha. You've got a sitting BJP MP. You've got a former MP from the Trinamool Congress, Mahua Moitra. And you've got somebody belonging to the royal family of Krishna Nagar as well. This is just fabulous, isn't it? This particular phase, very, very high profile names.
Absolutely, absolutely have taken various names. It's like in the fourth phase of elections in Bengal, it's a who's who. All the big names are contesting in this election against each other. So definitely an interesting phase for both Trinamool Congress and BJP in this phase of election, and that is why you get a sense even in 2019, if you look at the vote share difference between the TMC and the BJP, it's very narrow. So I'm sure this phase has witnessed an interesting contest between TMC and BJP.
I'd like to point out something here. The data I received some time ago, this needs to be verified, I think I'm correct, says that Jangipur, the two Maldas, Uttar and Lakhin, Behrampur, Murshidabad, all happen to be strongly minority, not dominated, but strong minority populations, have all seen a dip in voting. Now, I'm not aspiring great conspiracies to it. All I'm suggesting is what Nalin had pointed out, the summer is so sharp, it is affecting vote share across the board.
No, but you saw what happened yesterday in Uttar Pradesh. Many of them were not allowed to vote.
No, you mean in Bengal people are not allowed to vote?
No, I'm talking about UP. What happened also, I mean, I haven't heard about Bengal, but there are issues in UP in which many Muslims could not vote. Their names were not in voter ID, they were not allowed inside by police, there were a lot of issues.
But Nalin, at least with regard to...
I have to come in on this. This is a narrative that we have to be very careful about. And the Election Commission, as I read in the paper, put out a fairly strong letter to Mr. Kharge. And this has been a pattern that Rahul Gandhi has been building up, that, the Election Commission or the elections are not fair. If they are not fair, then how does the Congress win? How do they form a government in Telangana? How do they form a government in Himachal? How does he win and lose an election? I mean, he loses Amethi, he wins Wayanad. So, I mean, elections are won because people actually use their finger. These are human beings who are citizens of India, voters of India, who go into a booth and press a button, either for one party, another or a third. And then somebody who gets the total tally wins. Now, you can't have this narrative that my voter making a belief has been prevented because you're doing badly. I mean, where you win, you don't say my voter is prevented. So why is the voter being prevented at ABC?
Right.
There are problems in Bengal, they don't say that for Bengal. There are problems in Kerala, they don't say it for Kerala. But you will weaken the institution, you will weaken democracy by saying in Uttar Pradesh it will happen.
Okay. No, let me come in on this. What we are seeing is what we saw, not us, but journalists reporting with proof. These are things which you're a journalist, I have seen it. Now, the issue he says is about state elections. I'm not talking about state. When the Lok Sabha elections are happening, we are seeing in front of us violation of the model code of conduct. Now, I know Randeep Surjewala was not allowed for 2 days because of some issue with Hema Malini. KCR was taken off for 2 days. Yeah. My question today is, when Narendra Modi is saying that don't reject the Congress party, they did not attend the Pran Pratishtha. And why is the Election Commission quiet? Why is he allowed to continue to do prachar when we were not allowed? He says, wo guspetiya hai, aapko sampat leke Hindus ko denge. So that is a hate speech, and the Supreme Court has come out heavily on hate speech and said the police have to take suo motu cognizance.
Also come out.
So what I'm asking is, why is he not banned?
The EC has also come out against the Congress party.
No, the EC came out against the Congress party when we are asking something which is very justified. So Our letter was, why is this happening?
So now,
the EC
Shama,
only comes up against us.
Have.
My question today to Nalin or to anybody is, why is the Election Commission quiet?
Okay, so now again, just to be fair, there is nobody from the EC over here.
No, Anurag Thakur.
No former person, certainly no serving person.
The Congress will give your children's property to Muslims. This is what Anurag Thakur said. So I'm asking you, why I get all on. And Rajnath Singh said Rahul Gandhi wanted to introduce caste census in the army for introducing minority quota. Now, my question today is, why only opposition leaders are picked up?
Aarti, do you want to come in on that?
Take action.
But I would
our opposition,
like to respond to that.
And then
our opposition leaders being picked on? Oh, yeah?
I mean, look, I haven't been following the controversy, but yes, I think this election is full of a lot of polarizing rhetoric. And it is true that I haven't seen the Election Commission take any stern action or issue a whip or issue a, sort of strong statement asking people to desist from using polarizing rhetoric or using communal language. Even last time when Anurag Thakur in the 2019 elections, he said something terrible in Delhi, and I don't remember what it was, but something fairly communal, and no action was taken. So no action was taken against him. So I mean, these are things that raise questions. That is the Election Commission providing a level playing field to all the political actors or not?
And
okay, let's move on to UP
We have
now.
Maharashtra and UP left, so I think that's very
The largest state is...
If I have to respond. I mean, it can't be a one-way street. Here is a one-way tirade about one-way. Hold on, I must say that. I need to come in.
Why you're not talking about
Okay. You will come in.
Muslim. He gets
All right, Shama, hold on. Okay, one sec. Come in. All right, here's the way it will work. 30 seconds each. You've made your 30 seconds. Your 30 seconds is over. Nandali, please go ahead. I'll be fair.
2 minutes of Muslim and Hindu. So let's talk about Muslim and Hindu. It's, first of all, it's a yes-no binary. Has the Congress party said that there should be reservation for Muslims? They've said so. It's a binary. They put it in their manifesto. They put it loosely.
It is not in our manifesto.
I didn't interrupt.
I'm
sorry.
Shama, I'll have to take a break now if we get into the entire live.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Shama, come on, let's not get personal, please.
Covering up my argument.
Come on, you go ahead, make your point.
I mean, let's first start. How did the Muslim reservation issue start? It started because you essentially had a Congress chief minister in Karnataka bring it in. It went up to the Supreme Court, came down. That's a factual statement. The Congress has been a votary of that, of trying to say so. Number two, are they the ones who have not said that the first right of somebody is going to be a Muslim in terms of a minority on the assets of India or on the resources of India? It is Dr. Manmohan Singh. It's not Narendra Modi. So now let's approach. So therefore we need to approach this. I didn't interrupt.
Okay, sorry. Let me finish. Okay, you finish.
Okay, so therefore, at the end of the day, they want to treat this. I would like to, let's pick this up. First of all, 1950, when our constitution came, the Constitution of India, you pick up the original thing, has Lord Ram, has Lord Krishna, has Buddha, all of them in paintings, as Ambedkar ji and the others made the Constitution of India. The word secular comes in 1976 in emergency by a dictator. And I'm using that word dictator in emergency, not under a democratic process. Number two, so which is the Constitution? Are you saying the Constitution of India in 1950 was communal? Just because you've added the word secular in 1976 in an amendment in emergency. So the point is, this is how it was seen. The guarantee of Article 14, the guarantee being that yes, this is our civilizational heritage of a Hindu majority country, but we guarantee equality for everyone. No one will be discriminated on the basis of religion. It can't get skewed because somebody has a vote bank to say that you will be higher than another citizen of India.
Now I have to respond.
Just quickly, because we are really discussing what we are meant to.
We have put for the Muslims. Yadurappa was in Karnataka as the chief minister. If what he's saying is right, then he should have removed it. He didn't do anything. So there was no reservation based on religion.
Shama, can you lead us forward and say that there would be no Muslim quotas? So that's
I'm saying that there is reservation. What is there in the Constitution of India is based on caste.
There is never religious.
So there is no religious reservation. There is no religious reservation.
I think Chandrababu Naidu has also talked about Muslim reservation.
It is under
and he's an ally of the BJP.
In the OBC
so what
Muslims which are
we don't stand for religion-based reservation at all.
This is your ally talking about it.
So what?
We don't stand for religion-based reservation
what I'm saying is, I believe that it is Muslims in the OBC. For example, in Maharashtra, you have taken out the OBC and given it to Marathas.
We need to take a short break because I will discuss Uttar Pradesh, but I need to take a short break and we'll come back in just a few moments. To stay tuned.
13 seats of Uttar Pradesh also voted today as part of phase 4 of elections. BJP contested on 13 seats. Samajwadi Party plus Congress contested on 11 plus 2, 13 seats. And this was an important phase which saw battle in Kannauj, Etawah, Hardoi, a couple of other seats like Unnao. And of course, a large number of reserved constituencies also polled today. BJP contested on 13 seats, and remember that the BSP SP was the combined contested last time in 2019. This is the Lok Sabha data that we are showing. And can we also, show the Kannauj data, because Kannauj was the only seat that the BJP lost in 2014, and of course to 2019, Subrat Pathak, the sitting MP, won from there. And let me ask this question to Sanjay Kumar, sir. Last time BSP and Samajwadi Party came together, and Dimple Yadav still lost that election. So Kannauj clearly is a very challenging seat for Akhilesh Yadav, and for him to contest from this seat and say that he's going to be a candidate from here despite having announced his nephew's name from there, does it make sense to us? Because this clearly is a challenging seat for him since his wife lost last year.
No, I'm sure Samajwadi Party would have made all calculations before Akhilesh Yadav wanted to contest from this constituency. But remember, 2019 election is the only election, if you look at the last 4 or 5 elections, that this is a seat which the Mulayam Singh Yadav's party lost from that constituency. But if you leave aside the 2019 Lok Sabha elections, look at 2004 and the couple of previous Assembly Lok Sabha elections, Samajwadi Party has always been winning the seat. So it's not a weak seat for Samajwadi Party. And as I said earlier, Samajwadi Party must have made calculations before Akhilesh Yadav deciding to contest from this election. Let's see what happens. We will get to know only on the 4th of June.
Okay.
All right, let's take, since we're running short on time, let's take a look at the Maharashtra alliances. Vasudha, would you like to go through this? Phase 4, let's take a look.
So Maharashtra, 11 seats polled today. BJP contested on 7, NCP on 1, and
these are the alliances.
Yes, and I think some very interesting seats here, especially in Marathwada, which is seen as the battleground for Maratha protesters. Several leaders of the BJP, OBC leaders, have also spoken about it. The Lok Sabha seats are particularly interesting because last time there was a clear edge to the BJP, Shiv Sena combined, but of course this time the Shiv Sena has split, and so has the NCP. Maharashtra has not seen a major election in the last 5 years, so nobody really knows how the ground looks like. 11 seats in all. BJP, Shiv Sena won 9 seats last time. Congress, NCP won just 1. And Mr. Malik, Pune is a very interesting seat because, you have the first timers here. Pune used to be a Congress stronghold before 2014. How, and Pune was, I saw Supriya Sule campaigning there, Mr. Modi was there, Amit Shah was there, everybody landed in Pune this time because it's also very important for the BJP. How do you see the battle for Maharashtra this time, especially, Marathwada also, because that is where the Maratha protesters actually started this whole agitation?
See, 2 things. One, Maharashtra offers a very confused picture. You have Uddhav Thackeray telling his voters to vote for Congress, you have Congress telling his voters to vote for Shiv Sena, you have the BJP telling his voters to vote for Ajit Pawar.
And Nakli Sena, Nakli NCP is
it's not a, the two coalitions have numerous internal contradictions. By and large, the BJP has one advantage, the BJP here, because of Mr. Modi. So in seats where the BJP is contesting, it will probably start with some advantage. But there's also an interesting battle within the NDA. There's a battle between Shinde and Ajit Pawar. Okay, which of them can do better vis-a-vis the faction they've left behind? Because that will determine the hierarchy going into the assembly election.
Yes.
So that actually is a more interesting battle to watch than the overall battle.
Yeah, because that will probably determine the future of Maharashtra politics. We don't know which faction is going to survive.
As we start wrapping this up, Aarti, I just had a larger question for you. We are well more than halfway through these elections seat-wise. It's going to all be announced on the 4th of June. Do you see these elections as one where there isn't one dominant theme, which is dominating discourse? If you look at the BJP and what the Prime Minister has been saying, there are so many issues. If you look at what the India Alliance is saying, they've been attacking them primarily, but it's not necessarily on just one issue. And it's different from 2019.
So the thing is that not one issue, but it seems to be, the issues seem to be disconnected from ground reality. I mean, if you talk to people, the issues that are at the top of their minds are things like inflation, unemployment, lack of education and health infrastructure. These are the things that they talk about. But if you see the speeches the leaders are giving, they're just attacking each other. They're sort of, talking above the heads of, people on the ground. And, which is why I think it's becoming very, and it's becoming also one very interesting thing that I've noticed in this election, because of the lack of a single overall issue like we had in 2019. The issues are becoming the elections are becoming very localized, sort of from constituency to constituency, where local issues are mattering, where caste combinations are beginning to matter, things like that. And that is why I think it's becoming difficult to get a clear sense of which way this election is moving.
Ashok,
I mean, obviously the BJP is in pole position, but, when the election started, it seemed to be a done deal. Suddenly today, it doesn't seem to be a done deal, even though the BJP is ahead.
Look, I still feel the BJP is starting with and is still there with numerous advantages. One, there's been a lot of conversation about the BJP reaching out to its core voters. Now, we need to recognize that the sheer quantum of the BJP's core voters, both in absolute numbers, obviously as populations have increased, and also as a percentage of the overall electorate, has increased in the past 10 years. And that is the great Modi increment he's brought to the BJP. So, the sheer number of the BJP's committed voters has increased. Second, a 7-week election, a 7-phase election, almost 2 months, is frankly proving to be tedious. Now, you could argue that this was as true in 2019. It was. 2019 offered a few more emotional issues. Balakot, the whole idea of Modi as an insurgent candidate, which was easy to sell in after 5 years, less easy to sell after 10 years, became a factor. Also, over the 7-phase election, in the heat of India, without a big national theme, with just the idea that continuity is good.
People are losing interest.
You need a new hook to attract people every day. It's almost become like reality TV.
Yes.
The campaign has, not the election.
No.
I think people have made up their minds who to vote for, one way or the other, which in different states. And they're just going through the motions of 7 weeks of lots of speeches.
But Shama, at least Maharashtra Congress seems to be quite in a bad position, because most leaders have left the party, and the party contesting just on 17 seats.
No, that's...
your own leaders have spoken against it, right?
See, we're contesting on 17 seats because we just didn't want to have issues there. We wanted to have the alliance, and I'm telling you today, Maharashtra is going to be the biggest surprise, because Maharashtra, there is a lot of sympathy for Sharad Pawarji as well as Uddhav Thackeray. So you will see that the Maha Vikas Aghadi is going to do very well. Number one. Number two, I just want to say, Aarti was saying that leaders are attacking each other. When I hear Rahul Gandhi, he talks about the Mahalakshmi scheme. He talks about employment, Pehli Naukri Pakki, how 30 lakh employments will be filled up in the central government scheme. But whereas the other person only talks about how to, hatred, dividing. I'm asking today, Nalin is sitting next to me. Why not talk about what you have done in the last 10 years? That is the best thing.
That's what the BJP has been doing.
There's no, every time. Why is that?
It's not that they aren't doing that. This entire election campaign started entirely on talk about development.
Every other day, what we hear is about dividing two communities. That's what I hear.
Okay.
And also about the faces. In 1984, after the assassination of Indira Gandhi, the election was held in 3 phases. 3 phases at that point of time.
Okay.
Why 7 phases? And I also want to say that you asked, where is the election commission? What am I saying?
I didn't know. They aren't here on this program, but you've been asking.
But I want to say it's sitting next to me.
To be fair, look, I don't think you can have elections in 3 phases now. Okay, to be fair. And I think you need multiple phases. You need multiple phases in
BJP wants one nation, one election.
I'm out of time. We can have this argument later on, but we are out of time.
Let him finish his point.
No, we are out of time. Hello. Television.
An important point.
We are out of time on this show. Apologies to all of you. I'd like to thank our viewers very much for being with us. It is absolutely fascinating one way or the other, but I suspect at this stage all of us want to get to the 4th of June sooner than later.
But the next phase is going to be interesting. Mumbai elections and Raebareli Amethi.
Absolutely. We'll take a short break. More coming up.